I'm alive. We're live. Welcome everyone to the Undercut. It is just me today, but let's go. We've got the Austrian sprint qualifying to come in 10 minutes time. I'm excited for this one, you know. I'm really excited for this one because I feel as though we are in for a very interesting qualifying session. The reason for that is practice one was a bit all over the place, wasn't it? Max obviously topping the timing session. But apart from that, Lando looks quick but didn't get a good lap in. Russell was impeded. Both Mercedes on the hard tyres, setting the fast laps on the hard tyres. Piastri looks quick. Charles looked okay. So it's all a bit all over the place. My final result, my final prediction for the result, I think is a bit all over the place. I don't really know what's going to occur here. But if I was going to guess, I'd say probably a Max pole, a Lando second, and an Oscar third. I think that's where we're heading right now. We're heading for a Red Bull McLaren, I think. But either way, it's gonna be a bit touch and go. I think it's anyone's for pole today, just because of how wayward practice was. There's Carlos. Yeah, so Ferrari obviously they are very much a little bit behind, lagging behind a little bit. In comparison to the other teams for the next few races up until Silverstone. So it's going to be interesting to see where Ferrari are. See if they can sort of turn their upgrades on that they brought during the Spanish Grand Prix. But Fred has even said they're going to be on the back foot. It's looking hot in Austria today, by the looks of things. Speaking of Austria, though, got through in the Euros quite comprehensively, ahead of France and Netherlands in their group, which is very good. Very good for the Austrians. So if you're Austrian, well done. He seems within a shout, I think, for a quarter or a semi-final appearance, by the way things are going. Very strong team. Very strong team. Ralph Ragnick is doing a very good job. There's Valtteri Bottas. I love his hair, man. But the heat might play a part. Overcooking the tyres. We know potentially the working window for tyres could be a bit wayward for some teams. So that could be interesting to see how that plays out. George, 8th, but very much on the pace from what we kind of know from practice one. It's hard. There's not a lot to talk about, is there, really, from practice one? It's hard. It's because what do you even talk about? What do you even talk about? Like, there's not much that's happened. That's Fred. All right. This is very interesting. I'm not sure. I don't know who's going to get pole here. Either way, I think we're going to have a better idea of where pole position will be in the actual qualifying. We always do. But I think we could see some upsets here. I think we could very much see some upsets. Whether it will be a Ferrari upset, a Mercedes upset, maybe even a Red Bull upset. I mean, Perez going out in Q1 is not an upset. But, yeah. Yes. Come on, let's get going. Let's do this. Let's do this. So excited. Naomi can't decide who her money's on. She's saying Lewis Hamilton. Nah, that's delusional, that. That's absolutely delusional. I think to say anyone other than Max Verstappen is delusional. Well, or Lando Norris. I think Lando or Max, you can't give it to anyone else. Yep. Only 5 minutes to go. And sprint quali is a go. It's time. Let's do it. Sprint qualifying for the Austrian Grand Prix. Come on. It's going to be interesting, though. It's going to be interesting. I love these adverts. Oh, doesn't Miami look so nice? Oh, and Vegas. Oh, wouldn't you just love to go to Vegas? Vegas isn't everyone's cup of tea, you know, though. I know a lot of people who don't like Vegas. Oh. Pole position. Max Verstappen, I think, for the sprint quali. I think without a doubt. Hey Aaron, how's it going? What are we saying? What are we saying? Who's pole position? What are we saying? There we go. The intro comes in. Also, one other thing I want to talk about is Daniel Ricciardo to be replaced by Silverstone. What is that about? Sadly, Max. Yeah, I agree. Max is very much probably going to be on pole. I don't see it being anyone else. But what is this Daniel Ricciardo news? Daniel Ricciardo to be replaced? No. Surely not. He's been doing well. He's picked up his form. I don't understand. And then we've got, obviously, Carlos Sainz going to Alpine is the latest rumor. Carlos Sainz has been linked to every team. Let's see. Red Bull, Mercedes, Williams, Stake, Alpine. Am I missing one he's been linked to? Has he not been linked to Haas? No, I don't think so. 5 teams. That's half the grid he's been linked to. I wonder where he'll go. But yeah, Alpine's the latest rumor. But who will join Pierre Gasly? We don't know. It's looking like maybe Carlos Sainz, Teo Pourchaire, Mick Schumacher is an option, Valtteri Bottas. Who will go to Alpine? But who will Carlos Sainz go to? That's the question. But here we go. The F1 sprint qualifying for the Austrian Grand Prix. It's going to be a good qualifying session. It's going to be very, very up in the air. It's going to be wayward is the word I want to use. Wayward. And the reason for that is because one practice session means less running, means not only for the sprint race for long run pace, but it means for quali pace as well. Teams have had to prioritize one type of running, whether that's the quali pace, whether that is the long run pace, and that is the beauty of sprint weekends is that we get more competition, we get more upsets, and there's a chance today we could see a Red Bull upset. There's a chance today we could see a McLaren upset. But as Aaron points out, Max probably will be on pole position today. We've got Harry Benjamin and Martin Brundle this weekend. So, good to see we got Martin Brundle. Mandatory of course, we have mandatory tyres as well, which with the scorching heat of Spielberg at this moment in time could play a role. We know certain teams prefer certain tyre working windows, which could influence how well the tyres can be turned on, and obviously with there being mediums mandatory for SQ1 and 2 and softs being mandatory for SQ3, there's a chance we could see a fast team a team be fast, should I say, in the first 2 sessions, and then another team rock up in Q3 and take pole position. I think that could be a very, very, very interesting aspect. The heat. So, yes, the competition is very much. It's anyone's game, I think, today, but I do think Max will get it. I don't think Mercedes will. Ferrari maybe have an outside chance with Charles. We know Charles can turn something up when he wants. He's got that pace. But will he? I don't think so. I don't think so. But it's going to be interesting. Also, we have to know as well, we have to remember, should I say, that this circuit is very short as well. It's one of the shortest circuits on the F1 calendar. The lap times are only about 1 minute. Well, this year they'll be 1 minute 3 seconds long, I'd imagine. 1 minute 3 seconds, probably. 103s, maybe even 102s if we get cars pushing ever so slightly faster than we expect. But we're in for some fast lap times, so people are going to be tripping over each other as well. There's Jos Verstappen. I don't like Jos Verstappen, you know. I'm not a fan. As a person. He's not a nice man, from what I've heard. But either way, yeah. There's the Red Bull garage. Are Red Bull going to stuff it this weekend? Or will they once again prove why they have all the experience, why they have all the championships? Why is Joe Weller in the stands? There's a guy that looks like Joe Weller. So yeah. Let's see, shall we? So SQ1 has begun, and they are shorter sessions for sprint qualifying, being 12 minutes, 10 minutes, and 8 minutes. Normal qualifying is obviously 18 minutes, 15 minutes, and then 12 minutes. So you've got a shorter window to get going. So if you make a mistake, especially in SQ3, you are pretty stuffed. You know, 8 minutes is not a lot of time for 2 runs. It's doable. It's doable in SQ3 to do 2 runs with 8 minutes, but it's very, you've got to be out there as soon as the light goes green, pretty much, to be able to get 2 runs in. If you leave it any longer, it's very touch and go. Obviously, got to refuel the car, got to change the tyres, got to make sure, things are in order, the setup's right, the tyres are up to the temperature you want them, the driver's got to be happy. Yeah, it's interesting. There's Hamilton. But this is one issue we have with sprint qualifyings. So the green light is gone, and we're almost 3 minutes into the session, but we have not seen one single car go out. Which makes me wonder, do they just... Oh no, the Alpine's coming out. I reckon, well, are we only going to see a few drivers have 1 run here? Because they're leaving it pretty tight to do 2 runs. 9 minutes remaining. That's pretty tight to do 2 runs. Like we were saying, SQ3, if you want to get more than 1 run in, that is tight. Out come the Mercedes then on the medium tyres, as it is mandatory, as we know, for SQ1 and 2. And here comes everyone. Everyone's come out at the same time. It doesn't make any sense, does it really? Yeah, you're at a track where it's the shortest track on the calendar, or one of the shortest tracks on the calendar, and you want to avoid congestion, and everyone comes out at the same time. Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, Max is waiting. Up comes Lewis Hamilton to the hairpin, and a Sauber in behind him. Right, here we go then. We're about to see the first representative time this weekend. It feels weird on a Friday, even though I know we're used to sprint weekends now. We've had them for a few years, but it still feels weird on a Friday to have some sort of competitive session. It really does. But we are a go. As Harry Benjamin, that McLaren have brought a minor upgrade this weekend, which could see them be on the pace with Red Bull. We know Lando was on a good lap in free practice 1 before going off at turn 4. Here goes Lewis Hamilton. This is going to be the first flying lap of the session. Oh, and he's gone straight across the sausage curb and lost the back end into turn 1. And he's held it, but he's gonna have it's a 16.8 for Hamilton in the first sector, but that'll be completely undone by the Sauber behind him. That's a very, very poor. He might as well back out of that one unless he wants to set a banker time. But that would have lost him a huge chunk of time, probably half a second going over that curb. He's not decided to bail out. Oof. Doesn't look as bad on board, but the back end just wasn't complying there with Lewis Hamilton as he goes quickest in the second sector. Russell quickest in sector 1. Here comes Hamilton right on the limit on the curb. What time will he do? It's a 1:64. I don't think that will be good enough. I don't think it will be. And Ricciardo, this RB, it obviously didn't perform last weekend out in Spain, but watching on board Ricciardo here, the car just looks heavy. Just looks heavy. And Hamilton's time gets deleted. Yeah, terrible that, mate. Yeah. Hamilton acknowledging. Yeah, I think it possibly was the last corner. Maybe I saw him slightly go wide. Piastri goes second. George Russell with a 1:57. What a lap from him. But here comes Carlos Sainz, who might go quicker. And he doesn't. Only just, though. 20 with 200ths of a second. Lando Norris on a lap as well, but he's not done any purple sectors. So as we said before at the start, that we have to watch out for the medium runners and the soft runners, because some drivers or some teams will be able to turn on the softs better than the mediums and the mediums better than the softs, etc., which is what makes this qualifying session interesting. It's not just that the shorter sessions, but also we've got to remember that some of the drivers, some drivers could get knocked out here that you wouldn't usually expect because they can't turn the tyres on as well. I'm not talking about the big teams. I'm talking about the midfield. We potentially might see a Haas go out. We might see an Aston Martin go out. But in Q3, obviously, when they get to use the soft tyres, that might be a different story. But Russell is quickest at the moment, and also we've got the idea of there not being and Max Verstappen goes quickest, as we presumed. But yeah, we've got obviously the idea of the teams not being able to set up the car maybe as well as they want. We don't know how they are on quali runs, a lot of them, and yeah, it's gonna be close. Perez goes 6th, 0.5 of his teammate. Yeah, he's not doing too well, is he, Sergio Perez? Half a second is not good enough. Alonso is not turned up. That is an awful lap from Fernando Alonso. And Lance Stroll goes 5th. Wow. Hamilton needs to get going. And he needs to get going quick. He's not got a lot of time. Here comes Logan Sargent. Can he match his teammate? He's gone 12th. What a lap from Sargent. What a lap from Logan Sargent. He's gone to 12th. Ahead of his teammate, only by a 10th and a little bit of a second, but he's done well there, Logan Sargent. Let's see what Hamilton did. Oh, there we go. That's the track limit excursion. Yeah, that was a terrible lap then. He goes off at turn 1 over the sausage curb. The back end complaining, and then out of the swooping left-hander into sector 3, and he's touched the gravel and has had a has had a time deleted for track limit. And there's Guan Yu Zhou doing a very similar thing as well, dipping his tyre in the gravel in the penultimate corner on the runoff area. New gravel traps there now, obviously, this weekend as well, on the penultimate corner and the last corner as well on the outside. I guess to avoid track limit extensions and also probably just for an extra challenge as well, which is always good to see. Gravel traps are not something that they usually put in F1 tracks nowadays. You know, you see a lot of the new tracks don't really have gravel traps, but they've decided to put some in here, which is always good. We like that. There's Toto. Oh, Mercedes back. Yeah, this has got to count for Hamilton. I think Verstappen possibly has done enough. I think Max has done enough. Russell's done enough. Sainz has done enough. I think down to Stroll, I think they've done enough. Maybe even Leclerc. Perez, I think, is in danger. And Hamilton is hassling this Red Bull, which is Max, but Max will do another lap. I think everyone is safe up until Perez. I think Perez is slightly in danger, and Piastri on his final lap does a 1.60. And someone's gone off in the gravel there. Someone's dipped their tyre in the gravel. There's smoke. Smoke all the way. But here comes Lewis Hamilton. And the Sauber's got in his way. They've gone around there. Okay. Oof, Sauber just goes straight on. That was close, wasn't it? Hamilton had no idea, and you can tell he's 2/10 down in the first sector because he's hesitated, and that has completely ruined Hamilton's lap there. The Sauber in the way. This could be long for Hamilton if he doesn't hook up this final 2 sectors, and there's a gaggle of cars in front of him, and he's in the dirty air at the hairpin. They're all getting out of his way, but, oh, I mean, it's close. He whips it around them. Oh, and he's gone slower in the second sector. Lewis Hamilton is having a woeful lap. And he's been impeded. He's going to have something special in this final sector. And he gets round well. And he's right on the limit. But he's gone round well. What's it going to be? It's going to only be 11th for Lewis Hamilton. It is the best lap he possibly could have done with everything that was happening to him. Perez doesn't improve. And it doesn't look like we are getting improvements across the board. Albon is improving, though. Here comes Alex Albon. And he goes to 15th. Oh, my goodness me. That is close. Hulkenberg, if he improves, he knocks Alex Albon out. And oh, my God. Alex Albon is out of Q1. And Logan Sargent is out-qualified Alex Albon. Logan Sargent is... Oh, he's not. He's still out-qualified him, but he's out. Sargent's on a lap. Sargent's on a lap. Sargent's into Q3. Oh, and off goes an RB. Who is that? It's Yuki Tsunoda. It's Yuki Tsunoda. Oh my God. Logan Sargent is out-qualified Alex Albon. Jack actually predicted this, by the way. That is crazy. We were saying in the podcast that it's going to happen sooner rather than later, I guess, right? That's amazing. Oh, and Ricciardo's out. What a shame. What a shame. Daniel Ricciardo out. Sargent is through. And not Albon. That's crazy. Nervy for Hamilton, though. I can't believe that. Sargent is out-qualified Albon. Logan Sargent's out-qualified Alex Albon. No, why is no one picking up on this? This is crazy. So this is what happened to Yuki Tsunoda. So, he dips his wheel, and that's why that gravel trap's there. He dips his wheel in the gravel, and what a save as well. And those tyres are now ruined. You can't use them again. Oof. That was close, wasn't it? It was close to the inside barrier as well. Could have easily aquaplaned into the pit lane barrier, but didn't. Oh my god, Logan Sargent's out. Why is no one picking up on this, by the way? Is everyone just used to... This is crazy. That's crazy. All this... Why does Logan Sargent always somehow do okay when he's about to get replaced? Like, it's been pretty much nailed on the last few weeks that... Oh, he's probably going to get replaced for Antonelli. And then he's just switched it up like that. That's crazy. Oh. Logan doing un-Logan things. I told you, Logan. Yeah, Jack predicted this. I guess we were saying in the preview. I guess because of the law of probability, right? It has to happen at some point. Okay. What is it? 48 races in 2 seasons now? Almost 50 races in 2 seasons? In 50 races, you're telling me Albon outqualifies him every time? Definitely not. So, I guess down to lower probability, it has to happen at least once, and it's happened. Right as we were talking about it. Right as we were talking about it. And Jack said in one of the sessions he would outqualify him, and he did. He's done it. He's done it. Logan Sargent has outqualified Alexander Albon. Oh, have I got a Viagra advert, man? What's going on? Oh my god. That's crazy. That's a crazy advert. What have I just seen? Oh. Anyway, yeah. Crazy. Logan Sargent outqualifies Alex Albon. Madness. Absolute madness. Absolute madness. Who would have saw that coming? So my shock of the I think that is my shock of the that is my shock of the qualifying, I think, of Q1. Unlucky for Daniel Ricciardo. I think Ricciardo is unlucky to go out there in Q1. Yuki just making it through, spinning. Yeah, Ricciardo's unlucky. Oh, that was... I saw it. Even me, I saw it coming. Very lucky guess. Very, very lucky guess, but you got it right. Very, very lucky guess. And Hamilton came close, didn't he? Hamilton came close to going out. This is his first lap. So he clips the apex pretty nicely, but it's the exit. It's the exit. And here's where he goes off. And he once again takes that well, but goes wide and dips his tyre in the gravel. So Hamilton had a very poor lap there. I was shouting at the screen. Yeah, Hamilton's had a poor... Hamilton's had a poor qualifying session so far, but he's through. Oof. And imagine when you dip tyres in the gravel, it's not amazing for the car and the grip. But his second lap wasn't any better though. His second lap wasn't any better. He got impeded though by a Sauber into turn 1. You know, Hamilton doesn't know that the Sauber is going to go straight on there. But yeah, it's nail-biting things for Hamilton. Hopefully he can get it to Q3. I mean, Naomi Schiff thought Hamilton was going to get pole. Don't know what she's cocking. She burnt the kitchen, by the sound of it. Oh, well. We'll see, shall we? I think Max will comfortably get pole. I don't think it'll be any different. But we'll see. Oh, I feel so bad for Daniel. Why is he out, man? Doesn't help his case that apparently he's going to get replaced at mid-season. Here goes Max out the garage for SQ2. So, as we mentioned in SQ1, SQ3, 8 minutes is not a long time for an in-lap, an out-lap, a hot lap, a cool-down, change the tyres, refuel, come into the garage, make sure everything's working, setups on, the driver's happy. It's not a lot of time to do 2 runs. So I think they're going to have to be... We might see only one run in SQ3 from some drivers. It's going to have to be precise. It's going to have to be clinical, because with all the impeding that's going on and the slowing down and it's going to be tight. That's all I'm saying. You know, you have to be getting out of the way a lot of cars and getting off the racing line and slowing down, and it could be close. Everyone's out already. So here comes Carlos Sainz. Max Verstappen is going to set a fast lap first. I believe he's the first one out. He's changed his crash helmet, has he? Couldn't tell. But here goes Max Verstappen. I think he'll comfortably get through here. I don't see why he wouldn't. Oh, he does ride the sausage curb a bit, though. I wonder if Norris can challenge him, though. And he goes a 1:16.5 in the first sector. And obviously quickest for now. And Sainz... Oh, Perez sets the fastest first sector. Probably because Max went over that sausage curb. I don't imagine Max not setting a quicker lap, though, over the whole lap than Perez. Oh, kicks up some dust. Does the fastest second sector. Is Perez going to be able to match it? No. And here comes Max Verstappen across the final corner. And he goes top, obviously. Here comes Perez. Half a second off again. So he was quicker in the first sector. He's lost half a second in sector 2 and 3. What is Max doing? Or is Perez just... And Norris... I mean, Max is 0.4 quicker than Norris. Norris isn't going as quick as everyone thought he would. Here comes Leclerc. And Leclerc goes third. So Ferrari... on a decent pace. Here comes Piastri. Piastri goes second, 0.2 back from Max Verstappen. It must have been a poor lap from Lando. Here comes Lewis Hamilton with the fastest second sector. Here he comes. Goes fifth. Had a poor last sector by the looks of things. Only fifth. Here comes Mr. Saturday, George Russell, across the line. And it's second by a tenth of a second. Max Verstappen a little bit too quick for the drivers at the moment on these medium tyres. But as I mentioned at the start of the stream, it could all change with the temperature of Spielberg at this moment in time, track temperature, and the soft tyres. Certain teams will be able to turn them on, certain teams won't. And we'll see who they are. Might not necessarily be the order right now. Maybe McLaren are struggling. Maybe Norris is struggling in particular. But when the soft tyres come in, maybe it's a little bit of a different story. But 0.3 between the top 7 is very close. It's very close. So, yeah. Only time for one more run. Whew. And everyone from Perez down hasn't set a representative lap time. Here goes Charles. Oh, Oh, right on the limit. Oh. Oof. Dips his tyre in the gravel, but stays within track limits. And Hamilton's been called into the weighbridge. Oh my god. Hamilton's been called into the weighbridge. Oh my god, and there's not that much time left. There's not much time left, and Hamilton's on the weighbridge. Who's this? This is Max Verstappen. Does he kick up some gravel? No, he doesn't. It doesn't clip it. Oh! Ever so slightly. Is Hamilton back in yet? Is Hamilton back in yet? I don't know. He was on the weighbridge. Esteban Ocon now out. This will be one run for everyone from Stroll downwards to Logan Sargent. There's some Ferrari fans. Senna and Joy love Julie. Well, Julie. Oh. Oh. Oh my god. I'm tired, man. Oh. Who will go through? I'm going to say the top 8, Stroll. I'm going to say Esteban Ocon. So the top 10 we have right now, actually. I think Stroll will do it. I really do. I think he'll out-qualify his teammate. I think he'll out-qualify Fernando. He's gone quicker than Max in the first sector, as Lance Stroll. Oh, Stroll. He didn't quite clip that apex as well as he probably wanted to. Two tenths off Max Verstappen in the second sector. So he's on pace. He's for the Aston Martin. He's on the pace. He's doing okay. Oh, and he's dipped a tyre in the gravel. And that's not going to be good. Oh, it's not going to be good enough for Lance Stroll. Oh, and I don't think that's going to be good enough. Oh, I think that's going to be him out of the session. Here comes Ocon. 9th. Goes 9th. Ahead of Stroll. Here comes Tsunoda. Goes 11th. But here comes Pierre Gasly. And Fernando Alonso. Can Gasly sneak through? Can he sneak through into Q3? He can. He knocks Lance Stroll out. That mistake has been costly for Stroll. What can Fernando Alonso do? Only 12th for Fernando Alonso. And Magnussen's gone quickest in the first sector. Here comes Sargent. Only 14th for Logan Sargent. Good effort, though, from Logan. Good effort. Kevin Magnussen. He's gone quickest in the first sector. Here he goes. He's gone to 11th. Good job from K-Mag that. Kevin Magnussen. And Sergio Perez doesn't need to complete the lap because he is in to Q3. Ooh. Well, that's an interesting SQ3. Alpine, Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly into Q3. Interestingly enough. So the Alpines look to be turning up, which is good. And Sargent, unluckily, bottom of the pile in Q2, but managed to make it through. Oh, well. Let's see the mistake from Stroll. This could have got him through to Q3. Oh, snap of oversteer. Takes him into the gravel. Yeah. He's... Oof. And I think that cost him. That could have been SQ3 for Lance Stroll. Tsunoda out in the RB as well. Wow. Okay then. Feel like Alonso is checked out for the season, isn't? Or maybe they put different setups on both drivers. It's an interesting shout. I don't know what's going on with Alonso, because Alonso showed last season why he's still world class. At the start of this season, still showed why he's world class. So it's two things. Either whatever they've done to the car is just not clicking with Fernando, or Fernando genuinely is just checked out. Like, he's genuinely just like, nah, we made progress last season, and now we've gone backwards. I feel like he could just be checked out. I feel like he could be. But I don't know. He's getting outdone by Stroll, though, which is, you know, when you're getting outdone by Stroll, it means that something's going wrong. And whether that's with Fernando as a driver or whether it's with the car, because this is the worst run of form Fernando's ever had. Ever in his career. And yeah, he's getting on, but he's not old enough to be considered washed, is he, really? But I don't know. I don't know. But this will be interesting now. SQ3. Shall we see? Oh, those burgers look good on the advert. Ooh. Oh. Let's see, shall we? I think pole definitely will be Max Verstappen, without any doubt. Perez is once again having a... He's not where he needs to be. I mean, 8th place. When it's so close and the Constructors is on the line. Like, McLaren... I think I worked out as well. McLaren need how many points to catch Red Bull? They need... What was it? 70, 80 points to catch Red Bull in the Constructors. Over the last 4 weekends, McLaren have outscored Red Bull something like 12 points a race. They only need another 7, 8, 9, 10 races, which they have this season left, to overtake them. So if Logan doesn't keep performing, probably more on the car. We still have 2025 and 26 to see how he does. Yeah, that's absolutely true. I don't think he's washed. Jack keeps saying he's washed. He's not washed. Jack keeps saying he's washed. He's not washed. He's not washed. Not at all. It's Fernando Alonso, man. V-Carb's upgrades seem to be in the mud. Yeah, they seem to be in the mud. I mean, the same thing's happening with Aston Martin as well. Every time they upgrade the car, it seems to go backwards. So, and another team that can't get their upgrades to work where they want is Ferrari. Not that they make them slower, but they can't really seem to get the upgrades working as well as where they think they would. We thought Ferrari's upgrades would be 2 to 3 tenths quicker, make them 2 to 3 tenths quicker than the leading pack, but they never did. And we keep getting told that Ferrari are bringing upgrades and they're going to be fast, and never happens. So Ferrari need to show up. Well, Ferrari anticipated a little bit too much. They did. And according to Fred, they're not even going to be quick until after Silverstone. So we'll see. I mean, so far they haven't been too bad. I think they're relying on maybe a poor few runs from Norris and Piastri and maybe the Mercedes and Perez, but that's a lot to rely on. Maybe they're just not as slow as we thought they'd be. I didn't think Ferrari would be slow around here. Ferrari usually go well around here. Charles usually goes well around here. And the fact that Mercedes are outpacing them is not a good sign. Well, in the last few weekends, it seems like Mercedes do have the pace over them, which is unfortunate for Ferrari. It's not a good sign. But Mercedes have got it right. They finally got it right. But it's actually kind of scary when you think about it, right? Now, I'm not a Mercedes fanboy or anything. I'm not fanboying over Mercedes. But Mercedes have got it right after 3 years. And they're that close? I don't know. What if they got it right earlier? Could we be seeing an entirely different season play out? But they got it right too late. That's right, yeah. They got it right too late. And I don't think we'll see them. They could, if they make it, as we saw with McLaren last season. One big upgrade can change everything. And Mercedes are now on the pace. They've now got it right. They now understand the car. If one big upgrade comes in, could put them on pace with Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren consistently. Maybe they could challenge for the title next season. Maybe they could. But I think you are right. It is a little bit too late for Mercedes this season and next season, I think. Because next season will be essentially a B-spec of this year's car. So, yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? We get a nice graphic of Charles and Lando in the title race. But I think next year we could definitely see a McLaren or a Ferrari championship. It just depends how much more progress they make with their cars and whether they'll want to make that progress or focus on 2026. I think Mercedes do have a good chance for 2026 with it being primarily engine focused. We know Mercedes, they did it in 2014 with the hybrid engines, and now they could do the same thing. The thing is, can Russell do it, though? He needs to reduce his errors as well as calm down a bit. Yeah, I agree. But I think I compare Russell to how Max and Hamilton were in their early days. Obviously, he doesn't show as much certainty that he'll be a world champion as Max and Lewis did back when they first burst onto the scene. But I think there's a lot of similarities. George is quick, rapid, raw pace is there. But it's the mistakes he needs to iron out. We saw the same with Hamilton. Obviously, that mistake in China cost him the World Championship in 2007. A couple of mistakes in 2009, 2011 that cost him a few race wins. The same for Max in the years leading up to 2023. Very hot-headed. Obviously, collisions with Hamilton, collisions with Sebastian Vettel, collisions with his teammate Daniel Ricciardo. So, Max was like that with the mistakes. Hamilton was like that with the mistakes. Charles was like that with the mistakes before. Maybe even this year, say, Charles has been very mistake heavy up until this year. This year, I think we haven't really seen many of Charles's mistakes, but Charles has been mistake prone. George is still very much like that. He needs to iron that out, but I think when he does, that raw pace can take him places. Max starts to make less errors since 2019. Yeah, exactly. I mean, after 2019 was about where he started to sort of pick it up a bit. There still were here and there. But when he started to become like championship worthy, when he started to challenge Hamilton a little bit more in that 2020-21 period, was when the mistakes were ironed out. 2015 to 18, he made numerous mistakes. And the thing is, you can't blame rookies for it. They shouldn't be making the mistakes, but they do. Every rookie does it. Hamilton did it. Max has done it. Charles did it up until this year. I think he's ironed his mistakes out now. Carlos has done it. Everyone has done it. Lando did it. I mean, Lando has probably made the most crucial mistake of them all. Unless you're not counting Hamilton's 2007 blunder. Lando had his first win on the cards in 2021 in Russia, but decided not to pit. So, these sort of things, it comes with experience, right? There's one man, Sergio Perez, that shouldn't be making any mistakes at the amount of experience that he has. But yes, Max will probably be on pole. But Russell, could he win the title? I don't know. Could Russell win the title? I think he could. I think he could win the title. I think he's just got to have the car under him and, like you said, make no mistakes. But yeah, Max is a different beast. You don't see many mistakes from Max nowadays. He's a different beast. He's something different. He's something else. And obviously Hamilton's relentless consistency as well is something to be admired and appreciated over the last few years as well. In a time where the Mercedes hasn't been as quick as it should be, picking up podiums and pole positions here and there. I think Russell is a championship-worthy driver. He just needs to cut down his errors and sometimes knowing when to make the move. Absolutely agree. 100%. 100%. Jack would say otherwise. Jack would tell you that Russell's never winning a championship, but the man just doesn't like George Russell. So, because we saw him making risky moves which could have ruined his race. Yeah, we saw it in China. Obviously, gets overtaken. Well, speaking of Russell, yeah, everyone's going to send it. We haven't even seen a run in SQ3, so everyone's only doing one run, and we're getting to the end of SQ3. Everyone's only doing one run. There we go. But yes, like we saw in Canada, George Russell got overtaken by Lando Norris, made the mistake, and Verstappen then overtakes him as he goes over the curb. That's the sort of thing you can't do. If Russell doesn't go over the curb and has to go around the bollard, does Verstappen get through? Probably not. I think Russell stays ahead, and obviously Max then started to struggle. So I think that's a different outcome of that race. I think Lando wins that race in that case. So if Russell stays ahead, I think Lando wins. So I think it's a little bit harder for Max to then. Obviously, Max got lucky with the safety car, and that allowed him to close back up. But I think if he was behind Russell, he would have found it a lot more difficult. Like Canada when yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely agree. This is gonna be This is gonna be a Monza. This is gonna be a Monza 2020. Was it 2021? 2021 situation right here. We've only got 1 minute 49 seconds remaining, and we've got cars still in the pit lane. This is gonna be tight. Monza 2020. Sorry, yeah, Monza 2020. Was it that long ago? Or was it 2019? I don't know. I thought it was 2021. Or was it not 2021? Oh my god, Leclerc, is it an engine failure? What's going on? Oh, is his engine cut out? What's happened? Oh no, he's got it going. He's got it going, but he's got not long to get around the track. He's got the car running, but he's got 1 minute and 10 seconds to get around the track. What is he going to do? Leclerc's not going to have a time. And Hamilton. Here comes Hamilton. They're not going to make it. Oh, man. Ferrari reliability. Yeah. They're not going to make it. Hamilton goes quickest in Sector 1. What's the first time, should I say? Yeah, Hamilton is gone a bit deep there. Piastri goes quickest. Yeah, you've got to be quick now. You've got it. This counts as this lap is the only one that counts, and there's a Ferrari up ahead that's going to need to get out of the way of Lewis Hamilton, but it's not going to want to because there's only 10 seconds remaining in this session, And the Ferrari's not getting out of the way. And he's in the dirty air. And that's going to affect Hamilton all the way up into the line. He's got a toe, though, I guess. Here comes Lewis Hamilton with the 1.52. Charles has just made it. Here comes George Russell. George has done it. 1.50. Oh, no, Leclerc didn't make it. Here goes Piastri. Piastri has provisional pole. It's a 1.49. Lando Norris is going quicker. It was Monza 2019. Okay, so what's 2019? Lando Norris goes 0.2 quicker. 1.47. What a lap from Lando Norris. Here comes Carlos Sainz. The only Ferrari to be able to set a time. Goes fourth with a 1.51. But here comes Max Verstappen. Is it going to be Norris or Verstappen? It's going to be Verstappen with a 1.46. And no one else is going to get a time. Oh my goodness me. Well, what a qualifying. Well, I called it. Yeah, those. Well, I called it. Verstappen, Norris, Piastri. Max just keeps showing how much of a difference maker he is in that car. Absolutely. And Ferrari have fumbled the bag. Well, I mean, I guess Leclerc couldn't do anything about that. Couldn't really do much about the problem Leclerc had, but that is awful. That is awful. What are the teams doing? Getting the cars out so close to each other. That's ridiculous. But anyway, Max Verstappen once again showing the class and why he is currently the best driver on the grid. Unbelievable from Max Verstappen. Not Leclerc's fault, but it's Ferrari's fault again. Yeah, Ferrari showing a little bit of weakness, showing they're not quite there yet with McLaren and Red Bull. But there it is. Max Verstappen, pole position. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and we will be back. Well, Jack will be back with you for Sprint Race tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Streaming probably around 10 to 11. But thanks for watching, and we'll catch you with tomorrow's stream. And then obviously we won't be streaming for qualifying, but we'll put some sort of reaction on Instagram, and then we will be live for the race on Sunday as usual. Thanks for watching.